And that was Tom Waite reporting. Now, President Trump is closing out his first 100 days in office by making another push to pass an Obamacare repeal.
But it's that 100-day benchmark that the president is now taking aim at. UCLA political science professor Tom Schwartz joins us now. Now, on the campaign trail, Trump touted a number of things, Professor. We want to know how important is the first 100 days of his presidency, because on the campaign trail, he said it was really important.
He was just following tradition. Franklin Roosevelt took 100 days to get a package of bills written by his chief White House bill writing aides, famous team of Cohn and Corcoran, emergency measures governing banking and a few things like that through Congress. And so that's become an historical benchmark, but it's silly when it comes to revising major complicated programs, because it always takes much, much longer to do that. So forget it. It's nothing.
And the president is going to try to take another bite at the healthcare apple. What is it going to take to get it done this time, do you think?
It's going to take a change of language. He's already got something worked out that appeals to moderates on both sides. They will preserve entitlements or help for those who can't afford insurance, and it will inject a lot more competition into the market, but they have to change labeling in two ways. First of all, instead of a mandate and a penalty, what they have to do is give you a tax credit for buying it. Same thing, but people don't like. Yeah, they don't like penalties, they like tax credits. The bigger change has to do with labeling of the whole thing. Nancy Pelosi has sent out loud signals that she would accept the reform now being proposed in broad outline, but it has to be a reform of Obamacare. The Republicans have to give up the verbs, repeal and replace, and accept the verb revise. Same bill, different verbs. Spread the credit. Reagan said it all. I don't care who gets the credit, he says, as long as the job gets done. Let's see if Trump is equally pragmatic.
Yeah, interesting. There has been a lot of talk, Professor, about President Trump going back on some of his campaign promises. One of them chiefly, of course, being Syria. During the campaign, we heard so much about America first, let's focus on America. And then just a couple months into his presidency, we're sending missiles over there. Do you think that he reneged on that campaign promise?
No. He did what any president would have done in Syria. The Assad regime had crossed his predecessor's red line by using sarin gas. Immediately, the Syrian regime, backed by the Russians, said, okay, we're getting rid of it. But then he crossed it again. So the United States has been double-crossed, right? Any president in Trump's position would have reacted. Not to react is to impair our reputation. It's to weaken our effective military power just as surely as if the president had scrapped an aircraft carrier or a stealth bomber. He had to do that. But he did it surgically so that he took no side in the Civil War. He did not change the balance of power, and he will not. And he cannot, because there are no good guys to take the side of. The area that Assad bombed had a lot of civilian refugees. It was a terrible atrocity. But it also contained al-Nusra, probably the worst terrorist organization in the whole Near East, that had just then been terrorizing nearby Christians. The Assad regime protects the minorities. These fanatical Sunni terrorist organizations would want to persecute them. So there are no good guys. It's like the Spanish Civil War. We have no side we can take there. In that region, the enemy of my enemy is not my friend.
Wow. All right.
Wonderful insight, Professor. Thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to having you back on the show.
My pleasure.
Thank you.